Ciao, buongiorno. Ich bin Nina und ich liebe Chianti Classico. Und mit meinem Podcast will ich dich mitnehmen in meine Chianti Classico Welt und dich teilhaben lassen an Gesprächen mit Winzern, an meinen Eindrücken hier im Chianti und dir so viel wie möglich über Chianti Classico erzählen. Wie gesagt, ich will dich teilhaben lassen an meinen Gesprächen mit Winzern, die ich regelmäßig führe, einfach um so viel wie möglich aus erster Hand zu erfahren, um up-to-date zu sein über Jahrgang, Produktion, das Wetter und um alles zu erfahren, was die Menschen hier im Chianti bewegt. Dieses Mal möchte ich dir Marco Ricasoli Firidolfi vom Weingut Rocca di Montegrossi aus Monti in Chianti vorstellen. Monti in Chianti liegt im südlichen Teil des Chianti, unweit des Castello di Broglio, dem Familiensitz von Marcos Familie. Marco ist also ein Spross der berühmten toskanischen Adelsfamilie Ricasoli Firidolfi. Ich kenne ihn aber vorwiegend als Winzer und Agronom aus Leib und Seele. Und ich kenne ihn auch jetzt schon einige Jahre. Lass dich also mit dieser Episode mitnehmen in mein kürzlich geführtes Gespräch mit Marco auf seinem Weingut. Und weil er leider kein Deutsch spricht, habe ich dieses Gespräch mit ihm in Englisch geführt. Ich wünsche viel Vergnügen. Buongiorno, Marco.
Buongiorno, Nina.
Thank you for being here with me for a new podcast show. We are sitting here at your winery, Rocca di Montegrossi, in Monti in Chianti, in your tasting room, and we have a fantastic view to the white grapes hanging to dry to be processed very soon, I think, for your famous Vinsanto as well.
A couple of months, more or less. Yeah.
So it's quite before. Huh? But before we start, following the title of my podcast, For a Glass of Wine with Nina in Chianti, we have a glass by our side. But what do we have in this glass? Can you explain us what is
San Marcellino?
San Marcellino
16, great vintage actually, and a wine gave us great satisfaction. Now people they love it, and a huge vintage. 16 was a beautiful vintage. Sometimes by joke I say that who has not produced a good wine 16, you will never produce a good one. Because 16 was relatively easy.
Okay.
Yeah, very balanced summer. You say with some heat, some rain at the right time, never too warm, cool nights. So let's say
perfect.
We can really say in the last 15 years, one of the most classic vintage. Like it was more in the 80s, in the 70s. Yeah.
Against 2017 and also now 2021 difficult vintages, I think, because
climatically really tough.
Yeah.
The result very interesting, but climatically really difficult.
Yeah. Hard work to be a wine producer in these days, with this future outview, I think.
Yes. Let's say, I think to work the land, it's always difficult because first the land is down. So, so always very.
This is a very nice point of view.
It's very tiring. You should not really climb. And then of course always facing with the weather. And this is of course it's what makes difficult any decision. Mm-hmm. I believe that when you are in a great land, you receive a big help from that. Yeah. So here in Monti in Chianti, so the district of Gaiole, so our subzone Monti in Chianti is recognized to be one of the most beautiful cru. We can say one of the most beautiful subzone in Tuscany, not only in Chianti Classico. And so there are, let's say, all the pieces of the puzzle are in the right place. So let's say it's easier.
Chin and all the best for the future.
Thank you.
And thank you.
I
love it. Fantastic. Wow.
I always say when I drink some Marcellini, it's a story in the glass, because it's not only a wine, it's a story telling so much about the land, about the situation, and great wine. When I think on Rocca di Montegrossi, and I do it very often, the following three key facts come into my mind. This is Monti, you said before, and your family, the Ricasoli family. Then Sangiovese and Pugnitello, the two grapes, I think, very important for Rocca di Montegrossi. And last but not least, your Vinsanto, which is, I would say, one of the most famous Vinsanto here in the region. But first of all, I would like to give a little overview for Rocca di Montegrossi winery. You, Marco, run this winery more than 25 years.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, it's a
long time.
Now it looks, it is a long time. Actually, I was thinking recently that we have to change on our website that it is written like a young winery. Now actually it's only more so young because it's more than a quarter of a century.
It's always something of in relation, because in the relationship to your family.
To my family, exactly. It's still a baby. Let's say that is true.
Because your family is one of the oldest families here in Tuscany.
It is. No, actually, we have to look a little more wider. It is the oldest family in the wine business in the world.
Mamma mia.
Yeah, incredibile. Yeah.
Wow. And Rocca di Montegrossi...
Actually, I don't know if it is something positive or negative. Because
it's something positive.
Probably we are the most, let's say, boring family, because doing always the same job for so long time.
No, I don't think so. But your mother owned before Rocca di Montegrossi, and...
yes and no. Let's say that actually, maybe she put the seed.
Okay.
But at the end, it is all, we say in Italian, farina del mio sacco. So they say the wheat of my bag.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And because when I was working for the winery of my mother, she created the name because she has to sell in a market. This was United States. Okay. Where she has an exclusivity. So she make a second label, because let's say to sell in United States through a broker. At the time, there was the most important broker, and actually the first one importing Italian wine in United States. This guy was Mark De Grazia. And so she created the label of Rocca di Montegrossi, but it was only the label.
It was the label, okay.
And that's it. So they say I start with the label, and then I made all what was missing. So everything, the cellar, the vineyards, the
wow.
Yeah, so all what it is, little by little, what it is nowadays, Rocca di Montegrossi.
Mamma mia. And what is because you mentioned before your family is the oldest family in the wine business. There's a very important, let me say, ancestor, Bettino Ricasoli, which is the inventor of the Chianti formula, I say. I spoke about this in one of my previous podcast episodes. It has been the episode number 3 for all the listeners they want to listen, where I explain what is the Chianti formula and which time and with expression it has. But you have also other great names in your family, like Jeremiah and Ridolfo, where we find also in your wine list, let me say.
Exactly.
We will go on further.
They're not name of fantasy, but they're really name related to the family. And Jeremiah, because it is the ancestor, so it is the first in the family trees. Who built the fortress of Rocca di Montegrossi in the 11th century, so a really long time ago. And
so Rocca di Montegrossi has been a fortress.
It was a fortress,
yeah.
and it is. Let's say it is a ruin nowadays, unfortunately, because it's from 500 years that has been destroyed and not rebuilt. Because many wars in the past, especially here, Florence, Siena. And but then not only because it was the time also where there was the fighting with all the nation that has influence in Italy. From the Austrian Empire, the French, and Spain, and so on. So anyway, there was fighting in Italy.
Yeah, they all recognize what beautiful land it is.
So okay, let's fight there because at least
it's beautiful here.
Yeah.
Did you actually grow up here in Monti?
But let's say half and half. Let's say the school holidays was always here, and then during the year in Florence. So. Yeah, but we was coming here anytime was possible. So the weekend, and then of course the summers from June till September.
So you also associate viticulture with your childhood?
Absolutely. It was the most fun side and souvenir of my childhood because it was a great time. Yeah, it was in the 70s and 80s. We can say it was the last the end of a world that nowadays doesn't exist anymore. Mm-hmm. So where there was only local, and so the wineries was like a micro village, where the carpenter, this one that was working with the wood. Let's say there was in any winery there was all the people for what was necessary, because even to go to Siena, it was almost a big trip.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But we are very close to Siena,
exactly,
so it's not so far away.
Yeah.
Rocca di Montegrossi is now 100 hectares about.
Yes.
20 hectares vineyards.
Yes.
20 hectares olive grove, and the rest is forest.
Just to keep away neighbors. No, anyway, we are also for it was a joke, but it's important when you're organic as well, because my only neighbor is organic, luckily, but on the other side we have only forest, so this is important for And
you are organic since 2010, so a long time as well.
Long, yes. When I start in at the end of 94, I start immediately with a low impact agriculture.
Okay.
Because this was my aim, was always to care about the land, nature. It's when I was a child, I should say. This was something very sensible to this aspect. So, by the way, I was not feeling really not sure, but I say do not make mistake. Because, organic or biodynamic, any mistake you pay a lot. So I start with the low impact. It is just a transition between the normal agriculture and organic. And then in 2007, we start to become organic and certified in 2010.
Yes, because it takes a time.
To clean.
To clean. In my opinion, very special for Rocca di Montegrossi is Monti. The land you have here in Monti, because I think it's a very, very special exposition as well. Monti is a little village. You mentioned before, a subzone for Gaiole, and it's located, for all they don't know where's Monti, the famous Monti. It's in the south part of the Chianti region, and of course, your location and exposition brings a very special terroir, the famous terroir. What is the secret of your terroir? What do you think?
First of all, terroir, that nowadays we can say it's also it is a marketing way to promote a winery. So everybody talk about terroir.
But on the other hand, it's the most important, which helps you to do your wine.
But we have to know there around the world, there are very few terroirs, really. So the terroir, that means a land that give a specific character, recognizable and different. And so that way there are not many. And then, of course, means also that you should not buy wine and grapes. Otherwise, what we talk. And when so I'm also very proud of that, because I think any person who enjoy and drink Rocca di Montegrossi, he can easily understand and taste the terroir, because the main characteristic are detectable, tastable easily in every vintages. Of course, every vintage is different. You feel more fruit, less fruit. Let's say the style given by the weather. This we can't, of course, we don't want to change. But the main ingredients, so the acidity, the freshness, the balance, the kind of saltiness given by the stone, the seems like saltiness and spiciness, we can say, and the balance as well. So the fruit balance with acidity. These are characteristics that you can feel in every year, and the reason is because the Monti in Chianti, it's an area high. Let's say the average, we can say it's 400 meters. And this is very important because it gives lightness, freshness, as I said before, and there are the last hills of the Chianti Classico. So we don't have close to us hills higher, so it's a very wide and microclimatically really helps to have a climate very, very favorable in both situations. When they're raining, they're humid, vintage,
and because there's a wind, always a little wind.
Yes, exactly, and no dew, for instance. So let's say in September, October, when we harvest, it's the grapes. So they could be maybe wet just a little bit in the beginning of the morning, but that's it. In other area, this kind of humidity can last even till 11 or midday, and so for the mold, it's really bad. And so it's very wide, and in the very warm season as well. So this makes situation where it's difficult here to have night too warm. Very difficult. Maybe you need 1 week where you can say, "Oh, if I have air conditioning, I will be more happy." Otherwise, is during the night it's always quite cool and fresh. So good for us, good for grapes.
For the grapes and for the wine at the end.
And the soil, of course.
Yes, of course.
The soil, that is, of course, the most important. It's very well balanced. I was just looking yesterday the analysis of a soil that makes many years ago, because there was a guy who asked me the percentage of the limo, of the sand, of the argilla, of the clay, and almost one third. So they are very well balanced. In the most important component. So we call franco-argilloso, let's say in Italian, I don't know how to say in English, and subalcalino. So anyway, and with a lot of calcium and a lot of stones. So the stones mainly we call we have alberese, so calcareous stone. They give the salting that I said before, but at the same time they help do not push the wine in the direction of power and heaviness. Because of course stone is stones, and it doesn't make the soil too rich. So the wine as well will be not too rich.
Have to produce elegant wines.
Elegant wine, but with structure. Because we have clay, and also because I don't like wine that they call elegant, and at the end they are only thin. And this is something not correct for me. They say a wine, to me, elegant means a wine that has structure, intensity, very long finish, but this doesn't transform in something heavy, because the acidity, it gives lightness. So you can drink all the bottle. There is alcohol, so you can't. But let's say but you never have the feeling of something heavy in your mouth. And this, all what we said right now, makes the wine so approachable with food.
this is what I like for because I love Sangiovese, because Sangiovese always has this very nice acidity, and you can have it so easily with food. And all my listeners know that I love Sangiovese, so it's not the first time I'm saying that.
I believe I strongly, I really trust you.
Of course, your main grape is the Sangiovese, we just spoke, but you also find here in the vineyards of Rocca di Montegrossi grapes like with the name of Canaiolo, Colorino, Punitello. These are autochthonous, Tuscan grapes.
Very Tuscany
grapes.
Yes,
But you also can find here the Merlot and the Cabernet Sauvignon, which are not only Tuscan grapes,
absolutely not.
International grapes, of course. And last but not least, the Malvasia Bianca del Chianti, which you use for the Vinsanto.
Yes.
From these grapes, you produce several wines now. You have the Chianti Classico.
Yes.
The San Marcellino, which we have now in the glass, which is your Chianti Classico Gran Selezione. Then you have the Jeremiah, from the name from the ancestor, it's the blend of the Merlot and the Cabernet Sauvignon. And there's a new baby in your wine family.
Yeah. Really
it's called
the last arrival. Yes.
Yeah, it's called Ridolfo, so the other ancestor, and it's a blend of Punitello and Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yes.
Then you produce a wonderful Rosato. I love it.
Thank
and last
you.
but not least, your famous Vinsanto. And I've forgotten to mention a fantastic spicy and fruity olive oil.
Yes.
And now we heard twice the name Ridolfo. On the one hand, your ancestor. On the other hand, the product. The wine. What can you tell us about Ridolfo? Ridolfo the person, Ridolfo the wine.
Yes. This is the last project. Yeah, last wine, the last arrival, the new baby.
The new baby only in big bottles, only manual.
Only manual. Yes, it was the idea. And the idea, actually, it's no idea, it is the new wine, because at the end, the blend, it's unique. There is any wine in the world, 50% Punitello, 50% Cabernet Sauvignon. Punitello, it's also very rare grapes still nowadays, we can say, in Tuscany. Cabernet, of course, it's not rare, but the blend of the two together, it's unique.
What is special for the Punitello?
So I thought was necessary to bottle in Magno, because it's a very special wine for wine lover, collectors, and Punitello and Cabernet Sauvignon, they match incredibly well together. They're very different, but at the same time, it seems they complete each other.
Perfect couple.
Yes, and 50-50 at the end. What we found, it was not in the number, but also in the taste of the wine in all the vintages. Yeah. Because now we bottle 3 vintages, 15, 16, 18. Soon we're going to bottle the 19, but always 50-50. So I say to my winemaker, you have nothing to do. It's already. So you should not put in the bill this. It's because this is the formula, and we found they're perfectly matching. This is what we do. Of course, in the beginning, in the 15, we make a lot of taste with different percent, but then we found that the 50-50 was 50-50 really in the taste as well.
And how came the idea to do 50-50 Punitello and Cabernet Sauvignon? Because you thought nobody else has it, I do it, or
no. And if there are someone, please let me know. They're going to shoot them. I'm going to ask to Jeremiah at the time when he was not doing wine but just fighting. I called Jeremiah to say, "Hey, go to do your job."
So you just discovered this blend.
Let's say yes. It was an intuizione, we say. intuition.
Intuition. I think it's okay.
Yeah, and I was, let's say, as usually, what we're going to do actually even tomorrow. It was a day like it's going to be tomorrow when Attilio Paglia is coming in the cellar. So now fermentation finished, the maceration now almost finished. So we retaste the wine as usually we do often. And I was, as usually, the Punitello and the Cabernet, they keep such a high standard in quality in all the vintages. And I should say, compare our big love that is the Sangiovese, they don't make so much problems because Sangiovese. There is an expression very vulgar in English that I don't want to repeat. I don't want to say, but it's really a grape that make a lot of problems.
My description is always it's a lady, it's a woman.
Exactly. Yes. Maybe it has the character of a nice lady.
I'm sure, not only a nice.
Yes. And so I have this wine, I have these two wine in the glass, and I thought, wow, they are so spectacular, so great together. I said, but if two things are really great, let's put together, let's see what happens. So I try in my glass, but not with the Attilio Paglia, with my way, just in my own in the corner of the cellar. I put together, I taste, I say, wow, this really looks fantastic. So I give a glass to Attilio Paglia, say, taste. I didn't tell him
what you did.
What I did. Probably was only polite, I don't know, but he said, wow. He said, really, wow, what it is. And I say, it's Punitello and Cabernet. And so we thought, well, it's really interesting. Still not the idea to do a wine. I thought, I say, let's see what happened during the aging and so on. So we taste many times. We produced 16 vintage, and still 15 was aging. So always doing blend, even with the 16, and it looks really fantastic. So then we arrived to 17, so another vintage. Very warm, as you know, and even this vintage, both Cabernet and Punitello, extraordinary. And then we arrive in the autumn, and then we have to take the decision: we do or we don't do. So we do in a laboratory. We do all the different percentages. We arrive to the 50-50 I said before. I say yes, let's go ahead. This is a new wine. It's fantastic. I want to do, let's say, Magnum that is something really special because I think it is really an iconic wine and I think really extraordinary quality. I know it doesn't look very modest from my side, but now we have a few vintages in the bottle, a few vintages produced, and I think all they are very, very, very high quality.
Perfect. Sounds great. And why did you decide to name it Ridolfo?
Yeah, because at the end, Ridolfo, for us, it's very important, like Jeremiah. Jeremiah was ancestor, but Ridolfo was the son of Jeremiah. Okay. And our last name is because of him. Because Ridolfo, of course, he has son as well, because otherwise I will be not here with you, Nina, to talk. And the son of Ridolfo, they used to be called the Filis de Ridolfi. Okay. So that means the son of Ridolfo. Yeah. So maybe it was like colloquially, say, who are this guy? But they are the son of Ridolfo. Okay. So they become the kind of nickname of the son of Ridolfo. And then when probably this name remained for a while, till it was transformed in Italian, because at the time was only Latin. Filis de Ridolfi in Firidolfi. And this is my second last name, because all of the family is Ricasoli Firidolfi, and so Firidolfi is because of him.
Okay, so and it's close to circle.
Exactly.
Very nice.
It takes a time to explain, but I hope.
No. I think think it's interesting to hear because it's an expression of your family. Like the wine is an expression of your land.
Yes, yeah.
Which belongs to your family.
I don't want to put name of fantasy. I'm not crazy about the name of fantasy, even if there are some that are really incredible, nice and so on. But I always prefer to give name related or to the vineyards or to the place or to the history. So something more concrete, you know, something more that you can touch in a way. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something that give more meaning to what you drink. Yeah.
Great.
If it's possible.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you choose the fantasy.
And I have to mention it has a very nice packaging, the Ridolfi, a very nice wooden box and with golden prints on, and it's very
we try to do
elegant.
something elegant without to be over, but with everything you can see that it's done looking really high quality in everything, the paper, in the press, in the press, in the printing, in the printing, in everything. So you can understand it is...
even the paper with which the bottle is wrapped, it shows your family...
the family trees.
I honestly, I tried to study it, but the bottle was empty before I came to a result. It's really incredible with this tree. This is...
Yeah, I think it's nice. I'm happy you appreciate it.
Really nice.
It was a work of team, like everything here at Montegrossi. I'm very proud of that. That I don't take. At the end, I take the decision, but all the decisions are discussed with everybody. Because But the only thing I always say, it's just a joke. The only thing in the Ridolfi, there's no Sangiovese. It's true. There's no Sangiovese. Yes, it's true.
No, I don't totally understand. But what means Sangiovese for you? Because I think you have it definitely in your blood.
Yes, sure. Sangiovese, it's really the wine that you have in your blood. You grow with Sangiovese.
Your family, as you told us before, have been winemakers. I think with Sangiovese.
Yes, but at the end, we have to remember always that Chianti Classico has been always a wine of blend. From ever. This is the story, the background of Chianti Classico.
Nowadays, it's possible to do 100% Sangiovese.
Yes,
but
it is a choice.
Just 10, 15 years that it's allowed to do 100% Sangiovese for Chianti Classico. So
it's a choice. It's a choice, but I think it is very important to remember that it was not the background. Chianti Classico has been always a blend, and my ancestor Bettino Ricasoli, he used and actually first he experimented a lot of grapes, even Merlot, Cabernet, Syrah.
Wow.
Petit Verdot. There are a lot of grape variety. Mainly we talk about French because And then he arrived to the conclusion that the indigenous they're they match well with Sangiovese and they help Sangiovese to show better, because the aim is not to let taste the Canaiolo or the Malvasia wherever. It's to let taste Sangiovese his best. And he found that these grapes, the indigenous one, they're matching very well, and they do well this job. Merlot, Cabernet, they produce good Sangiovese wine, but they're not so complementary from opinion. And so let's say they don't only help Sangiovese to show the best, they show themselves as well a little. And these it is a choice of the producer, but I prefer only the indigenous one.
At the end, it's a perfect match, let me say. No?
Yes, exactly.
At the end, it makes it.
Yeah.
We always joke, makes it drinkable.
Exactly. And but as I say, to be back to your question, let's say Sangiovese is true. It is our aim, it's our soul. It's a grape that we hate and we love. Hate because it's always made some problems, I should say, and not easy to grow.
Which problems? Problems during
the harvest, during the year, but especially during the harvest time. It can take more easily some mold and. Let's say agronomically is more difficult. Compare Cabernet for sure or Merlot, And because it's the bunch a little more tight, the skin is a little more thin, so it's more sensible to sickness. It can mature a little late, but even Punitello, it's the last one of the Cabernet, it's the last one to get mature, even after Sangiovese. But the skin of the Sangiovese is thinner, so it's more sensible, for instance, to the mold, even to a problem of the insect. So let's say it's a grape that really, sometime I want to take a big caterpillar and to remove all the Sangiovese.
I don't trust you.
But at the same time, it's a wine. It produces wine extremely interesting because it's not monothematic. It's not. Let's say the when you taste Sangiovese, it has a background, we can say, in the taste, with a lot of faces, a lot of different aspects that you understand little by little during the tasting, during the bottle that you have on your table. And it's never the same. It's some grapes they're a little more monotone.
Yeah,
a little.
Yeah,
and the Sangiovese, it is a very interesting grapes. And in some area, thanks to the land, it become super interesting. Super interesting. Guess in which land? For instance, it's not the only one, but for instance.
Perhaps I'm not sure Monti.
Monti.
No,
Correct.
It's great. Monti is also one of the part of the which Cosimo the Third mentioned as Chianti region as one of the villages he mentioned in his very famous document.
Then I think if my ancestor, let's say, has what he did here, I think it's also because he was very lucky to be in an area where Sangiovese give one of the best expression.
Yeah.
So I think it's also because of that. If here we produce wine for such a long time, it means the vineyards here has found one of the best house to grow and to give their best.
They are at home.
Exactly, they're at home. Yeah.
But a very special thing for me at Rocca di Montegrossi is your Vinsanto. The Vinsanto is a traditional thing in Tuscany. I think every tourist knows it with the Vinsanto de Cantucci.
Yeah.
But to find a very delicate Vinsanto, it's not so easy. Here at Rocca di Montegrossi, you find a very delicate one. What is the tradition? Why? Because Vinsanto means holy wine.
Yes, yeah.
Do you know something about the tradition or the history?
It's one of the origin of the name that we say that it's not the only one, but it's one of the main one. You say that is the wine used during the mass. So the holy wine for that. Also because it is a wine that when the bottle is open, it can last. So you also the next Sunday. And
you think has been necessary?
No, because when I was doing the Chirichetta, the mass, I should say the best was at the end of the church of the mass to go there and to drink all the bottle. I should say.
I can imagine.
And,
from that comes the name.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. This is one of the origin.
Okay.
Yeah. And
so it's sweet wine. We have to explain.
Yes, of course. There is a different kind of Vinsanto. There are that are more dry, and that are more sweet.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to say which one is the classic. I think it's the most sweet. The one that's really too dry, to me, doesn't really seem Vinsanto.
Okay. So, yeah.
And,
Your Vinsanto has a very, very, very long process to come to the end to the Vinsanto.
You have to be a little crazy.
At the beginning, you have white grapes.
Yes. Malvasia Bianca.
Malvasia Bianca in your case, and your current vintage on the market at the moment is 2010, and we are in 2021. So we can think, mamma mia, long process.
Long process.
Is it possible to explain us in a few words?
In a few words, yeah. No, it's. In few words, it's difficult, but we can try. It's true that you have to be a little crazy to produce what we're doing because it takes a lot of work, a lot of time, and for little numbers at the end. It's a challenge. And then, let's say, my idea is that we've been never able to do something if I can't try to hit the best. Maybe I will not succeed, but at least I have to try.
Okay.
And so the Vinsanto as well, I don't want to produce just one of the menus, but I try to produce something really unique. This is the reason why I changed everything in the technique of Vinsanto. Because at the end it was a wine where I think there have been many aspects not considered in the right way, and it was producing wine with a lot of defects. So as it is nowadays, actually, and but this belongs to many dessert wine. Let's say any dessert wine could be ice wine, could be ricciotto, could be sauterne, wherever, require a lot of work. The dessert wine require a lot of work.
And to be precise.
To be precise and so on. So at the end, in every different kind of dessert wine, there are very few high quality, because not everybody want to invest time, money, patience for to produce a wine for few hundred or few thousand bottles. And here we talk about even 375.
Yeah.
So I change everything. It means not the straw rack, but we hang the grapes on. But other people they but we hang it on the nets.
Okay.
And the nets, why? Because we can move down the rails and we can control all the method, all the process. When we put the grapes now, so they're already there from a month till January, we can depend how it is the season. For instance, this year there's no rain until now, we can say. So we haven't done nothing, I should say. But other vintages, it's necessary to go there to clean, to remove the bad mold, to develop only the botrytis and seine. Because what we're looking for, another different compared to the producer, our grapes are not simply dry, but when we press, they're all hidden by la muffa nobile, the noble rot. So we say infavati. This is technically the word in Italian. And so they give more glycerin, so more round taste, more flavors, more complexity. So this mold is very, very important. Plus, it doesn't break the skin. So the berry remain how they are. And the bad mold make the skin very thin, and so the juice is leaking. And so this is not something we look for. So when we press the grapes, compare the past, our berries are clean. There is any dirtiness, any bad mold. So very important for the taste of the wine to be clean. Then we put the juice in a tank. We cool down just to clean the must, because it's going to sleep, let's say fermenting in the beginning, in the first 3 years. And if we be not clean enough, there will be some wrong fermentation producing after some not nice flavors and taste. And many Vinsanto, they have a kind of dirtiness, a kind of polished flavors. So let's say, not interesting taste. What I like of Rocca di Montegrossi, Vinsanto, that we talk about very clean taste of dry fruit flavors, and there are dozens of fruit flavors in it's a wine with a super complexity. Even some vintages there are coffee in, for instance. It's a wine to discover, and with time and no rush. And then aging in this small caratelli barrel of mulberry, cherry, and oak.
So 3 types of wood in one barrel.
And so different.
Not in the barrel. The barrel is made of 3 different types of wood.
Exactly. 4 depend the vintage, but between 7 and 8 years, and 3 years in the bottle.
Mamma mia!
So it's really a long time. Of course, when you reach the 10 years, then you don't feel anymore.
Can you say a percentage from what you would get a liquid if you do the white wine with the Malvasia,
yes,
you get a certain amount of wine.
It's easy to. Let's say the number that makes for the listener.
Yeah.
are easy to say in that way. If we want to produce a white wine with a Malvasia with 100 kilos, we can produce 70 liters or 70.
Yeah.
With our technique for Vinsanto, we are going to produce 8-9 liters.
Oh my God!
So let's say there is more than the 90% is lost in the process.
Mamma mia.
I told you, a little crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But crazy, but very delicious.
Yeah, at
very
the end
delicious.
It's true. Yeah.
What is also special for your Vinsanto is the back label. You have a very special, let me say, information sign on
exactly.
it. Could you explain?
You don't need to know Italian, English, or German. It's a logo of a glass.
Yeah.
And there is a biscuit, and Cantucci, and there is a ban.
So it's prohibited.
Forbidden. And if I look at you doing that, I call Jeremiah. I say, "Hey, Jeremiah."
Oh, I'm afraid.
Jeremiah, hey, make your work.
So it's the sense is that your Vinsanto is not a Vinsanto for the biscuits. It's a Vinsanto for what do you need? For meditation in front of the open fireplace? Exactly.
Now we got the season to have a fireplace at home. Could be a fantastic idea. Cheese, it's really, really one of the very best.
Which cheese do you prefer
all what it is, the erborinato, say all what it is, a cheese like could be Gorgonzola, could be Stilton, could be this kind of
blue.
The blue, exactly, yes, or a little aged cheese. Even a pecorino, not too old, but a tasty one. A tasty one. And foie gras, I should say, at the end, it's really, it's a truly, it looks a little banal, but actually it goes very well. Any kind of dry patisserie that has flavor that you find the Vinsanto is really matching well. Even chocolate, I should say, there are some cake with chocolate they really can match well. And then, as you know, once I have an incredible experience in Japan with in this very famous and restaurant in Tokyo, they let me try many combination of Japanese food and my wine, and everything was so delicious and unexpected, I should say. With the Vinsanto, really they surprised me even more because they was pairing with the sea urchin, ricci di mare.
Sea eagle. Yes.
And it was incredibly
because
great.
they're
a little sweeter.
Yeah.
And the Pacific one, they're even sweeter compared to the Mediterranean. They're more sharp, let's say, not so sweet. And so they marinated the Vinsanto with the eggs. And so there was a spoon of that one, a glass of the Vinsanto. There was still the freshness of the sea. With the sweetness of the ricci di mare.
Interesting.
And so this incredible match of sea and wine, but incredible good. Was really, and the saltiness as well. So it was matching so well with the Vinsanto, because actually one of the easy way has cheese is Parmigiano Reggiano.
Yeah.
So very easy to find, even a good quality around the world. And so the saltiness of the Parmigiano Reggiano with the Vinsanto is a drug.
Yeah.
When you start, someone has to really to tight you both hands. Otherwise, you eat like tons of cheese and liters of Vinsanto. And there was the same way to play salty and sweet. Was extraordinary.
But we have to say your Vinsanto has not the main expression of to be sweet. It is sweet flavors, but not sweet because it's very nice balance.
Exactly. We play a lot with that.
Yeah.
And because we have to have fun. And so producing is also to have fun. And it's sweeter because actually probably it is the sweetest Vinsanto in the world.
Yeah, could be.
And,
but it doesn't taste sweet.
Exactly, because this, again, the acidity, it gives lightness, freshness, so it's not boring sweetness.
No. It makes always fun.
Yeah.
And you can keep it, as you said, from one Sunday to the next, or
but even for, let's say, Easter, you can keep for a month.
No,
These are the good things of Vinsanto. At least when you open, you can keep for a long time.
And Vinsanto is really something I like to have a glass of Vinsanto after an extraordinary day, to have a glass of Vinsanto, to sit down.
Exactly. In a big glass, this is important, not small glasses.
Yes, big glass, because it's full of flavors,
exactly.
full of
Otherwise, but any wine, I should say, in small glass doesn't show. I don't know why they create these small glasses. Maybe
perhaps
to
for
sell
fresh,
glass.
young white wines, perhaps for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Perhaps
yes,
for that.
yeah, but yeah.
And what I'm always saying, this long time, this silence, which has the Vinsanto in the glass, after an extraordinary and a busy day, I take out and have a little silence for half an hour, let me say, when drinking this glass of Vinsanto. So I enjoy it very much. Marco, it was a huge pleasure talking with you. And as always, I learned about you and your winery. I always learn something new. It's always interesting, and I'm very happy that we had the possibility to do this podcast.
Great. I hope it was interesting, and thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time. Grazie.
Prego.
Wie du wahrscheinlich bemerkt hast, es ist mir immer eine große Freude, mit Marco zu plaudern, wie wir in Österreich sagen. Ich hoffe aber, es war nicht nur für mich interessant, sondern auch für dich. Und vielleicht konnten wir dich, also wir, Marco und ich, neugierig machen auf seine Weine von Rocca di Montegrossi. Die findest du natürlich auch in meinem Online-Shop, und den direkten Link dazu findest du wie immer in den Shownotes. Und natürlich auch wie immer den Link zum Wein, den wir heute im Glas hatten. Wenn du noch Fragen haben solltest, die sich vielleicht in dieser Podcast-Episode für dich ergeben haben oder überhaupt zum Thema Chianti Classico hast, dann kannst du mir gerne eine Nachricht dazu senden. Auch den Link dazu findest du in den Shownotes. Und wenn dir mein Podcast gefällt, dann kannst du diesen auch abonnieren. Das würde mich natürlich sehr freuen. Wie immer hoffe ich, dass ich dich auch heute mitnehmen konnte in meine Chianti Classico Welt, denn das ist meine Passion, mein Auftrag. So fühle ich das zumindest. Bis zum nächsten Mal hoffentlich. Ich freue mich auf dich. Ciao, a presto. Drum schenkt ihm Leben ein,